Jersey and called for collective aid to the more than 9 million victims affected by Sandy. More details in this report.
On Tuesday evening, Hurricane Sandy slammed into Atlantic City, New Jersey on the northeast coast of the United States. This is one of the biggest storms ever to hit the U.S., and overnight it battered a vast region from North Carolina to Connecticut. New York City was hit particularly hard. Intense rains caused flooding in southern Manhattan, and water levels surged to over 4 meters in some areas. Sea tunnels and parts of the city's subway system were inundated, and it will take days to remove the water.
We knew that this was going to be a very dangerous storm, and the storm has met our expectations. The worst of the weather has come, and the city certainly is feeling the impacts. At the Battery, we have seen record surge levels. We're seeing an extraordinary amount of water throughout lower Manhattan.
The flooding caused a transformer to explode, and half the city was plunged into darkness. Around 11 p.m., a huge fire started in the borough Queens east of Manhattan, and around 200 firefighters struggled to control the blaze. 50 or more homes were destroyed in the fire. Authorities took a number of preventative measures before the storm hit. All sea tunnels were shut down and public transportation stopped. Authorities issued a mandatory evacuation order to 375,000 people at risk, but the majority of them decided to stay put. The National Guard was also deployed to ensure security in the evacuated areas. Early Tuesday morning, U.S. President Barack Obama declared a major disaster in the states of New York and New Jersey. 16 people have been killed in the U.S. by the storm, and nearly 9 million people were without power on Tuesday morning. 2 nuclear reactors were shut down early Tuesday, one in New York and another in New Jersey. Sandy is now heading north towards Canada.
Well, time now to take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. The Minister of Youth and Sports has presided over the inauguration of a new sports committee tasked with forging a sustainable and proper framework for developing sports in the Gambia. The formation of the 6-member committee headed by Alpha Khan emanated from the recently held National Dialogue on Sustainable Sports Development and forms part of the Minister's initiative to restructure Gambian sports. Modo S. Jallo has the rest of that story.
Just days after masterminding the National Dialogue on Sustainable Sports Development, the Minister of Youth and Sports wasted little time to start implementing the recommendations and suggestions that were raised during the stakeholders conference. The first major step being the inauguration of this 6-member committee presided over by the Minister.
Now we want to move forward in the general interest of the nation to make sports a major and critical component of national development. As I said, we are here today gathered to witness the inauguration of a committee of highly distinguished personalities with impeccable character and vast experience in different fields of discipline to help government and of course everybody in the country establish proper framework for developing sports in the country.
The 2-day Sports Dialogue Conference held on the 13th and the 14th of this month, which was followed by a 5-day nationwide dialogue tour led by the Minister, generated diverging views arising from frank discussions with stakeholders. The inauguration of this new sports committee is one of the Minister's aggressive initiatives aimed at restructuring the country's sports to meet the required standards of a genuine sporting nation capable of competing at the highest level.
I want to develop a very comprehensive school sports program. And number 2, we are asking of them to help us propose principles on sports governance and administration for the running of national sports associations in the country. They will also provide a framework on decentralizing sports and sporting activities to the grassroots and the regions. We have taken the bold step, of course, at the level of the ministry to begin that process with football.
The committee has an initial mandate of 6 months, during which they are expected to come up with sound, tangible recommendations that will serve as guidelines in creating sustainable sports development. During this period, they will be experimenting with 6 disciplines, including football, athletics, volleyball, basketball, table tennis, and handball.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that high sense of expectation, it is my privilege to inaugurate this very important committee. We ask of the general public and all sports stakeholders to give necessary cooperation to make their work smooth and productive.
The 6-person committee is headed by Alpha Khan as chairman, Fabakary Toure of the National Sports Council as Secretary General, Governor Lamin Sane of West Coast Region, Samba B. Balde from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mohamed Jallo, Minister of Basic and Secondary Schools, and Anna Diba from the Justice Ministry as members. He did not only accept to head the committee, but he also promised to work hard with the committee members to develop a sustainable and a proper framework for developing sports in the country. The distinguished veteran educationist, who is known for his tenacity in getting quality and results, hailed the Youth and Sports Ministry for their commitment to the development of sports.
The committee will prepare an implementation plan. Listen carefully. And during the period of our assignment, we will consult, we have not come to fight, with all stakeholders to ensure that the emerging sports development framework is nationally owned and realistic. Because even in education, when you come to curriculum development, if the users do not own the curriculum that you have developed within the school system, it will never take root. And I'm sure Mr. Jallo will agree with me. And the curriculum development unit, if they were here, will tell you this. And let's be realistic. We have no illusion about the difficulty of the task, but with the prayers and goodwill of all, inshallah, we can succeed.
The inaugural ceremony was attended by heads of various sporting disciplines and other relevant stakeholders who were highly impressed with the formation and composition of the committee.
We will assure the minister that we will fully cooperate. At least we have the country at heart, and whatever it would take to bring sports back to light, we will do it.
We situate sports where it's supposed to be. Make sure we do the small things that we can do and get away from the big things that we cannot do. Is to make sure that there is a framework in place which we will all follow. As long as there is one tune that we are all singing and people understand it, there will be no mistake in our combined efforts. It cannot happen. So I personally trust the mandate that was given to this committee, and I think that they can do the job.
Moments after the inauguration, the new sports committee went straight into business, outlining their immediate plans. They will be having more of similar sessions in the next 6 months. The task ahead seems enormous, but expectations are high. Mohamed Jallo, Grts Sports.
And before we go, reminder of headlines. President Jammeh has underscored the importance of science, technology and innovation in the socio-economic development of the Gambia. The Minister of Youth and Sports has presided over the inauguration of a new sports committee tasked to forge a sustainable framework for developing sports in the Gambia. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has called on Algerian authorities to participate in efforts to liberate northern Mali from the grip of armed Islamists. And Superstorm Sandy continues to batter several U.S. cities after killing 16 and leaving 9 million residents without electricity. That's all in the news. Thank you very much for your time and enjoy the rest of our programs. We'll be back, inshallah, at 2200 hours with more news. Stay tuned in.
والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا